traders? This is Zach at ScalperIQ. I'm the lead developer here. We are currently in beta. You're welcome to click the link in the description if you are interested in joining beta. If you're a Motive Wave or an Edge Pro X user, we would absolutely love to have you. Sign up, get free access until our full release in the fall. All we ask is that you join our Discord, you help give us feedback. It's very important to us to help us shape this tool. We want it, it's already been shaped by traders here, and it's been shaped by our early beta testers. And we'd love to have you give your input and help continue to shape the tool. So without further ado, let's take a look at this trade setup for today and walk you through what we saw. So this is about an hour into the open on the NASDAQ. This is a 1-minute chart, ScalperIQ on here. We are in smart mode, so you will see these zones move around and develop as the session starts to develop. We'll take a look at kind of where we are here real quick. This is the overnight session. This gap up is not real, but this is from roll, contract roll this week. And this is yesterday's session. Some of the high intensity delta zones that are here, just in case we decide to break range. We want some of these zones printed down here in case we want to try to buy any selling that might end up there and or use it as a target if we do start to sell. So the overnight session was first aggressively down and then just choppy again, and we've just kind of ranged all night long. And we're going to play the open. We're playing at about 200x speed here. I'll pause and talk throughout. So you'll see as we open, we're really just kind of doing the same thing. Buyers tried to make a new high. They made one, but then immediately sold off again. They're going to try a couple of times. Each time they're getting up anywhere near this 22,140 area. They're just getting, they're just not able to get through. And so, you know, with that context, as this session starts to develop, we're already kind of thinking short. You know, the market has sold off overnight, it's ranged, and now you're kind of knocking on this 140-ish door, the same place that from the overnight session, you know, you struggled up here around 130 or so, and now you're just kind of hovering above, and every time they've tried to go higher, they're not able to do so. So now this becomes something that we pay attention to. So on this attempt of the high, you'll see the first attempt of the high intensity buying delta, just demonstrated by the bright green color. Second time, a little bit weaker, but still some high intensity delta there. Now you've got high intensity delta, and then as you get up here, you get an aggressive sell candle, which prints this marker, which tells us that not only did we have selling, but we sold so aggressively that we flipped control in a very short period of time. So now we're kind of paying attention, saying, well, not only do we have selling, but we have sellers who are willing to initiate quite aggressively. So we start to kind of think about a short here. And as they push the high, notice the difference between these other times. So before, pushing high intensity delta from a buy side, now pushing the highs, but with high intensity delta from the sell side, and goes sideways right into this same zone that got rejected once already. And now we're going to start to sell. And so now we start to print toward the bottom of the range. This is the low here. We're printing some high intensity delta zones. Sellers very much in control at this point. You do put in this zone, you get a nice little retest here, and you get a nice little counter trend move. You're looking at about a 30 to 40 point move, depending on where your entry was there. They're going to try it again. They hold it briefly and they spike below it. We will note that this spike landed right in a zone from yesterday. So this zone here, which they tried to get into in the overnight session and couldn't, is right at previous day's high. So they did kind of make a test at that, although it was a very fast trade, more of a stop run type situation. Now for us, and for me, when I'm trading with ScalperIQ, this is too many zones for me. It starts to get a little bit overwhelming, and so I will reduce unless price is in exploration mode, and then I'm actively looking for a zone down below, and we'll start to ignore some of these zones that are further away from price. So click that off. So sellers continuing to be aggressive. Now you're coming into this double overlap zone. You're going to get a nice move there, and you're also getting aggressive selling right into the aggressive buying from yesterday. So you get some decent bounces here, and they're going to really try. They're going to flush the bottom of that zone, just kind of a quick little wick out. And this is kind of where we would be bidding. We did take some trades up here. Entry was a little bit higher than this. I think we were like in the high 20s, low 30s. This whole zone really is from 53 to like 15. So it's a little wide for my personal flavor in terms of how I trade. I tend to trade with about a 20 to 30 point stop. So I tend to be a little more conservative and tend to be buying the lower parts of some of these rebid zones. And so this time, every time so far, I mean, from our sell marker all the way back here, all the way down, this marker showed up at 114. You're now down here at 21,926. So, you're looking at like almost a 100-point move from that marker, as well as nothing but sell candles. Buyers really just didn't have any chance in terms of getting control in here. So this is the first time that buyers, after, all the way back here at 11 a.m. And now you're sitting here at almost 2 p.m. This is the first time that buyers kind of take control briefly, And this is kind of one of these like same ideas of break and retest, right? Like this right here is right where sellers kind of lost control for the first time in this move. And then you push and you come back and you retest that exact spot, hold it and push again. So, if you're not comfortable sort of buying that first green candle, which a lot of times, in a big sell move, you might start to get some, sort of aggressive covering that then rolls back over. But buying or sort of a retest of where that delta flipped from is typically a better setup, in my opinion. And you're going to start to get aggressive selling. And at this point, you're really just kind of starting to chop now. And there's the close there. So this is kind of what we saw today. This is a pretty typical session for ScalperIQ. You had a nice signal up here. We watched how this kind of short setup developed. And then, depending on if you're holding, maybe you're short here and you're taking some profits here near the opening range low. And then, as you continue to push, if you're holding runners, if you decide to not cover until you actually start to see some aggressive buying delta, you could easily be in a 90 to 100 point trade here. So thanks for joining us. We're going to try to do these a few times a week. If you have questions, please put them in the comments. Please sign up for beta. Check out our website. Would love to have you.